Okay, so welcome to the second series in our online course. Today we'll be covering the green leaf meditation, which is on page 13 in your manuals, and we'll be looking how to use this. A lot of people, when they ask me about the green leaf, I normally give a very kind of simple explanation of how to use it and what it's for, but today we're really going to be looking at that. We're also going to be looking at the Sembah. We won't be covering all of it because there's a lot in the Sembah, but we'll be covering a good part of it. Just before we go into the green leaf, we had a question from the US from a student called Greg, and you asked, do I recommend any books? Probably in terms of Pencak Silat, the best Western book I've read is probably by John F. Draeger. So if you want to, you can Google John F. Draeger, Pencak Silat, and you'll find it. I'm writing a book at the moment called Conversations with Guru Ma, which is all the conversations we had during a 23 year span, and it's chronological as well. It doesn't just touch the Silat, it touches every aspect of my life and life in general. It's all the esoterics that she taught me, all her principles, all of her concepts, everything. So I'm kind of halfway through, because I took notes. You can't believe how many notes I took, books, manuals written. I can show you stuff like that, and I'm still going through them. To be honest, she was like, when Guru Ma was alive, she was very much like a wellspring of life. She just kept flowing. And those of you who are going to Holland will see anyway, because we've got her live on tape. So you'll have the good fortune to see her. I'm looking forward to that. That's in June, by the way. So those of you who are not going to that trip and you want details of the trip to the university, which is here actually, that's the university grounds. That's Guru Ma. We'll be going there in June, so that's coming up to that. Looking forward to that, guys. Okay, so page 13 in your manuals, okay, and it's entitled here the Green Leaf Meditation. Now, on my very first session with Guru Ma, my very first session, she introduced me to this, okay, and it's simply a bowl with a green leaf and some water, okay? And basically what Guru Ma asked me to do was to fix my attention on the green leaf and see whether I could move it one way and then another way, okay? The green leaf did move, but it wasn't me that moved it, it was the wind that moved it. However, what was the purpose of that practice? Why would a Silat teacher, a martial arts teacher, asked me to do a meditation for an hour and a half before I trained, okay? So let me tell you why. In Pencak Silat, in traditional Silat, your awareness or concentration or your perception is the first line of bela diri. When we say in Silat basang, okay, whether you basang this way or that way, when you enter into the first posture, whatever posture that may be, the very first thing you should be in is in a heightened state of awareness, okay? What does that mean? That means that you are physically, mentally present at this very moment in time. It means that your mind is fixed in the present moment. It's not being carried away by the past, it's not running to the future, it's not running around backwards and forwards, it's fixed. And unfortunately, a lot of martial artists today, there's some very good fighters out there, but if you look at the internal practice of martial arts today, very few have concentration exercises. And concentration is everything. Not just concentration, but concentrated awareness is everything. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, so here we have the key symbols of Guru Ma's principles in everything, not just the Satria, but in everything. And we have a male and a female standing equally, and then the lotus coming out. Okay, so what does that mean? Remember in our last lecture I spoke to you about male and female. On a physiological point of view, the male part of the body is behind and the female's in front. Okay, so that's the male part of the arm, that's the female part of the arm. The female part of the arm is a lot more sensitive, receptive, and the physical, the external outside part of the arm is harder. So this is softer, this is harder. Okay, what does that actually mean when we're looking at the green leaf? How does that apply with the green leaf? How does that apply in concentration awareness? Okay, so in Satria, when we say you are concentrated, it doesn't just mean you are fixed, you are focused and present. It means more than that. It means that you're attentive to the point that you can feel. So it's thought and feeling, projection and feeling at the same time. So when we say basang, basang change, basang change, basang change, posture change, you're not just concentrating, you're feeling your opponent. So when you're standing doing a jurus, or you're standing practicing doing a jurusan, or you're doing some partner drills, or you're just main playing with a partner, or you're sparring, you should be both in thought and feeling. Male and female at the same time. So imagine you're driving your car, okay, and in the car you have what we call the front view, and then you have mirrors here for the back and mirrors here for the side. So the car has given you a peripheral view so that you can drive and you can see what's around, what's in front and what's behind. Okay, so that's basically, when you're a Silat guy, what you should feel. You should be able to feel like there's something in front, there's something behind and something to the side. And if you're too focused, if you're too concentrated, if you're too into, I'm going to drop a front kick, I'm going to drop a roundhouse kick, you will miss that moment. You will miss it. You will miss that peripheral moment. Why am I saying this? Because if you're too fixed in, here comes my right, what happens if someone slips behind you, pins you to the ground? You won't feel it. And if you won't feel it, you won't respond. So it's really important that you understand right at the beginning of your self-defense, thought and feeling. So I stand in front of you, concentrated, focused, but aware. My thoughts are here and my feelings are here too. I can think and feel. I can't really articulate this point more. You will only understand it if you practice it. And if you get this part of your Satria wrong, you'll end up doing something else. I promise you. It doesn't matter what technique you do, what applications you're doing. If you get that start wrong, everything else will kind of go pear-shaped. You think that you'll mimic the movements, it won't happen. You won't do the Satria movements. You won't respond naturally, I promise you. So you've got to get this thought and feeling at the same time. How? Right, okay, so now this brings me on to my next point. This is the green leaf's meditation purpose. It's the purpose of this exercise. So when you stand with a green leaf in front of you here, or sit as I'm sitting, okay? First thing you're going to do is just 5 or 6 big deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just and then you're going to bring your feeling into the bowl, the water, the leaf. The breathing goes naturally in and out, in and out. And you relax into the sensation of the leaf. Now with your mind, you're going to try to move that leaf. So now I'm dealing with projection and feeling. So if I was in a basang position, I'm ready to hit, but I'm also ready to feel. I'm ready to respond, but I'm ready to hit at the same time. You get the drift of what I'm saying? And higher levels of this lead to heightened states. I'm not saying that you're going to be like Spider-Man, have precognitive awareness. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you'll be able to pick things up before they happen. You'll be able to read the body motions and the body movements before they happen. You'll be able to pick up intention before. Just before the blow comes, you'll be able to hear, feel and see. And Bruce Lee used to say, feel, but he didn't articulate that properly. What do you mean, feel? Don't think, feel. What he was really saying, what he really should have said was think and feel. But what he was really saying was, if you feel, you'll respond quicker. What he was really saying was, if the mind is still, it will respond. But of course, you have to think and feel. You know, there's a very good illustration of this in a movie that Tom Cruise played in called The Last Samurai. And he was playing with the swords, and it was at the time where he was captured, and he was playing with one of the swordsmen. And one of the guys come up and ran to him and said, too much mind, no mind. And Tom Cruise was like, what do you mean? And he said, too much mind. What he was really saying was, you're thinking too much, you're not feeling enough. So what I'm saying is you've got to have the both. And by practicing this simple exercise of moving and feeling, projecting and feeling, you will come to understand what I'm clearly saying. And that is the first part of your Bela Didi, your first line of self-defense before we get into the Sembah. Now, be patient on this course because it's about learning, okay? And I'm honestly not trying to make this longer than it is or shorter than it is. I'm just giving it as it is, no in between, okay? So, and I want you to clearly understand that practice. Now, some of the questions that you might be asking already is, what kind of bowl? Doesn't matter. How much water? Just enough so that the leaf could float around is enough. How big the leaf? Look, I chose this one. It doesn't matter. Does it need to be green? Leaves are green. I say this because I get questions like this, right? Okay, so, next question. How long should I do this meditation every day? Okay, so, in my opinion, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it's just an introduction of what you should be doing when you're practicing sila or driving a car. You should be in thought and feeling. When you're speaking to someone, when you're communicating, when you're giving a lecture or a presentation or listening to someone, you should be both in thought and feeling. It's not enough for you just to be in thought. Your mind should be still, and you should be feeling and thinking your way through that conversation or that driving, or if you're surfing, or if you're jogging, or if you're training. Look guys, on a practical level, if any of you guys lift kettlebells or weights or anything like that that's heavy, Think about the risk of injury when you're lifting a heavy object. If you don't feel that weight and think, you could damage yourself. It's the same. This meditation introduces you to what you should already be doing on a daily basis. Now, it shouldn't be that you push with your mind. So when you have the leaf there, you shouldn't be like, trying to move the leaf. No. You should be in a relaxed fashion. Distance doesn't matter. You should be feeling that bowl, the water. You should be guiding the leaf around. Now, normally what happens is that the mind wanders off. So you start with all good intentions, and your concentration might be 1 minute. Wow, I've moved it for 1 minute. And then all of a sudden you think, email, I've got to cook, I've got to eat, blah, 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 blah. Monkey mind. So the mind runs around here and there. So let it, bring it back to the leaf. Let it wander, bring it back to the leaf. It's the same. You're driving, you should be into your motion, you should be into that conversation, and your mind is wandering. Let it wander, bring it back. Let it wander, bring it back. Don't force the issue. Let it be natural. Let it be relaxed. Let it be part of your daily life. No pushing. Okay? So that's the importance of the green leaf. And please ask questions. Please ask questions about it. It's important that, we can learn from one another. If we have one guy asking, Greg from the US, asking about a book, and then I've said John F. Drager's book's really good, that might help someone else. So if someone else has got a question, that might help next time. So don't be shy to ask questions, and ask them, even if you don't know. I mean, that's humility anyway, So I had thousands of questions with Guru Ma. The difference was I couldn't ask her. I had to wait until the right time, because that was her methodology. I just had to do. But I'm saying to you guys, you can ask as many questions as you want, okay? So that's the green leaf meditation. Good luck with it. I hope it goes well. And now we're going to move on to the Sembah. Okay. So one of Guru Ma's quotes, Guru Ma said, movement is movement. It's all a dance. Therefore, what is required is only what the moment calls for. Okay? Now, in Silat, the reason why we say, when we basang, okay? When we basang, in ready position, when I say to you, do what the moment requires, what would that mean to you? Well, what Guru Ma explained to me was, there's a difference between a reaction and a response. A response is what the moment requires of you. A reaction could be what you think is occurring. So for example, if a guy's in front of me, he suddenly puts his hand in his pocket and I think he's got a gun and I break his leg, and all he was saying was, oh, you need to comb your hair, or he was passing me his passport. You get what I'm saying? I'm just using that as a, as an illustration of something that could happen, right? So a reaction is what you think. A response is what is required. So, the guy puts his hand in his pocket, he's going to give me his passport to look at, and I go, the response is, thank you. A reaction could be, see the difference? So that's why, when we say basang, you have to be in thought and feeling. You have to feel that person, feel their intention. A lot of people play with intention. They go to hit, they kick. Or they go to punch, and they headbutt. And you can feel, you can pick that up in Silat. And that's why it's so important to do that meditation on a daily basis. Trust me on that one. I wanted to really help you understand that. That's why in the beginning, when we say Sembah, right? Sembah is a very, very deep, ancient word. And it means respect, like hormat in Indonesian, it has the same kind of meaning, like respect, but it's deeper than that. It's like a reverence. So when we go Sembah, we're saying, I respect you, revere you, but it's deeper than that. It's you know, it comes from the ancient practice or the ancient saying of namaste. It means I recognize you, we are the same, we are of the same source, you are my brother, you are my sister, we are one and the same, we're part of this journey, we're equal. That's what real Sembah is. So when you Sembah someone, really, you're Sembahing yourself. Okay? That's how deep it is. You're saying, you and me are the same. There's no Guru, Satguru, Mahaguru. Those are just titles to recognize someone's experience and skill. But we look at them in the same way. In Guru Mahar's University, that is how you enter the school. Everyone, whether student, teacher, whether daughter, mother, parent, doesn't matter. Whether they're a professor, a scholar, a pendekar, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the title. We all revere, respect, and we greet one another in that same fashion. And that's the philosophical understanding of Sembah. Now, Greenleaf Sembah. When we Sembah, how we Sembah is this, is that we take a deep breath in and we feel the peripheral room. And if there are 5 or 6, then we do it like so. If there are 12 or 15, we do it like so. But this Sembah position, this is the female aspect, and then this is the male aspect. And the Sembahing, the greeting is not just to the students or your partners or your friends or your colleagues, it's also to everything that is living. Mother Earth, the universe, your creator, your sustainer, the light, the energy, whatever you call it. If you believe in God or life itself, you know, you revere, respect, adore all that is living. So, you know, it's the same with an animal, same with a dog. They're all creatures of life. And they all should be respected, the trees. So you just think about it for a second, what we do to our trees and what we do to our water and how it's influenced our planet. Because we've lost that link. And that's the next part of Sembahing. What people don't understand about the Sembah is when, when you practice the Sembah lifestyle of greeting, respecting, revering, you relink. It creates a link between you and life, and it creates an equal link. You know, you respect all living things, and this is the beauty of the Satria and the beauty of the first posture. Okay, it's not just the self-defense aspect. In actual fact, the first self-defense aspect I've just got into is the feeling and the thought. You see that? So when we come up, Sembah, Basang. Sembah, next posture. It says all coming from here. All coming from here. All the hand positions are coming from here. So that's the greeting. Really, really important that you understand that. And how to do the greeting. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the self-defense bela diri applications of the Sembah. You know, just for you guys, so that you know that this is the new Sembah Pukulan. When I say Sembah Pukulan, I mean the striking aspect of Sembah. But we've also got another DVD that I did with Alvin Ginanao in Indonesia and another student of mine. And we covered different aspects. So how the Sembah works, it works like this. The first aspect deals with the posture. The second aspect deals with your structure. How to work your structure. what position your structure should be in, okay? Once you establish that, then you start working the parries, the blocks, the evasions in Sembah, and then after that you work the Sembah pukul, the strikes. And all the strikes, as you know, in the Satria are first done with all parts of the body, the hard parts of the body. I want to stress that. So, you know, we're talking about the head, we're talking about the elbow, we're talking about the knee, we're talking about parts of the shin, not the low part, but more the mid and upper part. We're talking about the ball of the feet and the heel. So that's the first stage in Sembah. It's structure, motion and movement, striking. So that's what we're going to look at now. Let's break down the Sembah and how to use it and the whole greeting. So the first motion is you lean to the left, the hands come round, and you're in that position. Then the position comes back, okay? So this position here, in Satria, this posture here, is a female position. It's a neutral position, okay? So then the hands come up, like so, and then they come round as we turn, and as you step to the side, like so. Then you come back to the center. The hands come up again, like so, drops, moves, and you move to the other side. So, then you come back to the center. Then you step back, the hands come inside, you look up, you come back to the center. Then you go to the other side, shifting your weight through the heart, come back up, and then to the center, then lean to the left, come up, and you finish the Sembah position. So, let's look at the parts of the body. In Sembah bela diri, Sembah self-defense, you're going with the head, the elbow, the shielding part of this arm, this part here. So when we talk about the elbow, we're talking about this part and also this here, this part of the arm, okay, for striking, but also for shielding, okay, parrying away. We're also looking at the knee and then this part of the shin. So from the mid shin to the upper shin, okay? Then the heel and the ball of the foot. They're all used as weapons in Pencak Silat, and they're all hard as well. That's the male side of the body in Sembah. Then the female side is you're using what we call evasion. So remember, when I moved to this side, my hands came here, and I shifted my weight this side. This is moving in Silat. So even this exercise here, I don't know if some of you remember it, is also a conditioning exercise to slip to the left and to the right. Very, 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 very important. Okay. So, if you wanted to do a Sembah jurus to illustrate the parts of the body that you were using, you would do it like so. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and come up. Okay, so that's a small jurus just showing the parts of the body that you would be using. Now, the female aspects of the body, like I said, is this evasion, this motion of moving. So if I was here, I'd slip here, like so. And predominantly this part of the hand where we use dampa. So you'd use it here, okay? But also shifting the weight back and shifting the weight forward and backwards, you'd also be using. And also shifting the weight to the side, like so. So all these motions that you see here will be used in Sembah. So let's just look at that. So we'd be going forward, we'd be going backwards, we'd be going sideways, shifting the weight now. You see that? Shift the weight. Like that, shifting the weight. Okay, so the first most important part of your Sembah training is your structure, okay? So when I say your structure, I'm saying is when you teach a student, the very first thing that you want to ensure that they know is that they can stand in a strong position. You should never put someone in a vulnerable, weak position, okay? If they can get into a strong position from the off, it's a good start. So no different. If I said to you guys, okay guys, I want you to push a car, you're not going to stand there going like that. You're not going to stand there going like that. You're going to go, right, wait a minute, I'm going to find what's my strongest side, my right side, I'm going to push off, I'm going to slightly lean down, I'm going to get in line, I'm going to push. Okay, that's what you would be doing. You would position yourself in a strong position. It's the same in Beladiri self-defense. Same thing. When you're doing Satria, when you're doing Silat, the first position should be strong. When we say strong, it means that both male and female are in motion, mind and feeling, and your first position should be a position of strength. So you shouldn't be like, okay, do you see my point? So your structure, your base position, your first posture of practice should be slightly leaning forward. Shouldn't be leaning back. Now, this position here means that a strong position in Satria means that I can step back, I can step to the side, I can step to that side, I can duck, I can throw a punch, I can lift my leg, I can throw a roundhouse, I can drop to the floor, I can roll, I can step back and pick up a weapon if I have to, I can jump, any given moment, any side. That's a position of strength. But it also means that if someone pushes me, I can both respond, feel my way, but I can also push back. I'm in a strong position. And that's the first posture that you should be in. So how do you know that? Right, okay, so when you take a step, okay, when you first position, first posture I put anyone in is just make a step. So when you do that, make a step. That's your first position here. It doesn't matter so much about the hands yet, because later on these will just flow with the environment. Your body position takes the shape of the environment. So if I was in a telephone booth with a phone right now, you know, I wouldn't be in this position here, would I? I would be in this position here. And if someone attacked me there, I would respond in that position. Again, if it was 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon on Oxford Street, central London, and I was waiting for the train and someone suddenly jumped on me, I'm not going to have space. So the body always adjusts to the environment in Satria. So going back to the strong position, right? So this first position should always be slightly leaning forward, but not too forward. Okay, so not too forward, where the knee is over the toe. No, it's just there. It's just in that position there, that position. If it was with the left leg, it would be that position there. It means I can throw a jab, I can throw a cross, I can lift my left leg, I can lift my... Look, both legs are comfortable in lifting, okay? Both arms are comfortable in throwing, in lifting. I can turn, see both sides, but I can slip, turn. I can slip, I can slip. I can slip this way, I can duck, no problem. Both sides, left, right, okay? That's a strong position. Again, if you push me, I can withstand, but I can also absorb. That's a strong position. So that's always, please remember this, when you practice your Sembah, you should be in that first position. So the first thing you need to do here in Sembah is this, is the elbows. Now, when we're striking with the elbows, and that's the first thing we're going to look at, the first thing we're going to do is look, before we strike, how can we shield? How can we use our strikes, and I say pukul, as a defense, not an offense? Because I always teach that there's no blocking in silat. There's moving, slipping, there's sliding, there's rolling. And when you strike, so for example, if a jab comes and I do that, it's a strike, not a block. Okay? So it's the same. If I slap someone, I'm slapping them, not blocking them. So dampa is a slap. I might slap to get out the way, but I'm getting out the way, I slap. Do you get my point? It's not like block in silat or block in silat. No, no time. Once you put weapons in someone's hand, you might be able to shield and parry, but even that you have to, when you shield, it's more of a strike. Shield, strike, not block. If you get into blocking motions, you'll get hit. Okay, you can cover, but blocking is a very hard skill to do. It's better to teach how to strike. So let's just see how that applies. Right, okay, so the first two angles are, in your Sembah, I'll do it this way, are 1 and 2. 1, 2. So look, there's my hand position, slightly drops, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So I do it sideways, it's 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So we're just coming across. So that hand's coming in there and coming in there. Okay, so look, 1, 2. Okay, so now we're going to do 4. So watch the angles carefully. I'll do them this side, that way you can see them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this way goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so imagine 2 punches. So there is the first. Remember, bang, strike. Punch comes, bang. Punch comes, bang. You see that? Coils already as a twist. Bang. So it's 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So you can have someone going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And what you're doing is 1, 2. Then we're going to apply 2 hook punches. So there, right? So you'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember to twist. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a strike, that's a strike, that's a strike, that's a strike. Strike, upwards, strike, upwards. Across, across, up, up. Okay, so now we're going to do 6. So you're going to go watch. This is the person applying the techniques. He'd be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 straight ones. 4 straight ones. 2 hooks. Watch, it would look like this on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll notice when I dampa, I slip. You see, there's the slip. There's that movement. Remember what I said from the beginning? We talked about a good position. You're able to move, slip, slide, duck. Okay, remember that. So let's do that again. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now when you're doing dampa, okay, dampa, it's the slap, pan. Now when we slap, there's 3 slaps in the Satria, okay? In the Sembah. Later on you've got dampa in Harimau or dampa in Garuda. But in the Sembah part, you learn how to dampa, dampa, upwards, upwards, down, down. So we go side, side, up, up, down, down. So if I was, say imagine there was a punch coming, I could go, imagine me blocking, block, dumper, punch. So imagine a punch coming and I shield, shield, dumper, punch. That's a very good Sembah drill that we normally do. So if I just have Lani just throwing a punch just for a second, you'll just see now I'm going to use the shield, the dumper and the strike. So watch. There, there and there. We'll do that again. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Now, you'll notice that when I shield, I dumper upwards to hit the rib area. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 6 different drills to work with using the basic Sembah shielding, parrying and striking. So the first one's this one is 1, 2, 3. And then obviously we would alternate and she would do it. But we're just going to do it this way. So we do that one again. There, there and there. Okay, so the next one is she's going to punch and punch. 2 straight punches. Watch. 1, 2. Just that. Again. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2. So you watch what I'm doing is I'm parrying, moving. Parrying, moving. Parrying. You notice the Sembah position. It's all coming from the Sembah. Look there. 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 Slight twisting. Remember, a good posture allows me to move. So it's not static. There. Okay, so look. So the first one would be, the first drill would be 1, 2 and 3. Very, very comfortable slip, slide. Shield, dumper, hit. Nice and relaxed. The second one, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Go back to position, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Now you can roll these out one after the other so it looks like that. And you can do these from lower positions. This is a traditional Sembah position. The same applies with the first one. So look, from a there, and strike. There, and strike. And then you can change. Okay, so we'll do the third one. So the third one will be, Lani's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4. We do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll notice I'm just coming here and here. Upper elbow, upper elbow. Upper elbow, upper elbow. So we'll do that again from the beginning. The first one is there, there, and hit. The second one is just 1, 2. Hold it there. Again, 1, 2. Back again. 1, 2. Okay, so the third one is there, 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 and there. Okay, so now she's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 straight ones, and I'm going to do 2 dumpers. So we're just using basic hand Sembah techniques just to get a student comfortable in this range, slipping, sliding, and remember striking. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you notice I'm slipping back when I'm doing that. So we're doing that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you're practicing these drills, use the numbers. So 1 being really slow, 10 being really fast. So you want to do kind of like, if you want to do a slow one, you want to work in number 3, which would look like something like this. This would be a number 3. And then you'd work at a number 7 speed for Lani, so that would be something like this. And then, you know, it depends who you're working with and how they progress. So, we've done how many drills now? That's the 4th one, right? So let's go back to the beginning. So, shield, dumper, hit. First one. Second one, 1, 2. Third one is 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one is 1, 2, 3, 4, dumper, dumper. Okay, now we're going to do 2 more dumpers, okay, and that will finish the basic Sembah drills. And then the next one, in the next session, we can start really unlocking and exploding on these Pukalan drills, and also some of the locks and the chokes that are in Sembah too. Right, okay, so watch the next one. So we go again, 1, 2, 3, 4, dumper, dumper. Now she's going to throw another shot, I'm going to move here, she's going to throw another shot, and I'm going to move here. So look, now you're seeing a little bit of movement and motion being applied with the Sembah. So we now go back into position. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? If you want to move like so, you can, to create another angle. The reason that you use dumper, so for example, if she was going to throw a single shot dumper, it would always be with a movement. So if she shot another one, might be another one. If I was going, she was hitting another one, you see it's a dumper and slip and slide. Dumper's used as the female aspect. So if she, for example, threw a punch and I slipped, that's how you would use a dumper. If I was using a dumper, if she hit this way, slip that way. If she hit this way, I'd use a dumper that way. So you can break these down into shots like so. But the dumper is always up, down, and across. Okay? So let's look at that. So that will be the last drill that we will do. Okay? So let's go back to the previous drill that we did, which combines all of them, and then I'll give you the basic dumper drill so that you can use it and apply it. Okay? Both in jurus and in jurusan. Right, okay, so now let's go back to the previous drill, which is from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then look, she applies one, I hit upwards, but I step already and step. So you're using the dumper. You can use it across or upwards. Let's do that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, across, across, up, move across again, and step back. Okay, now, if you were practicing the dumper, okay, the 3 basic dumpers, you would be practicing across the body, up the body, and down. Okay? And how you would know it was correct is that you would use the opposite shoulder with motion and movement. So look, you see that's back, forward, back, forward. So let's look at some of the dumper drills, and that will finish off. Right, this is going to conclude today's session. Right, okay, so watch. Just using basic dumper drills. So Lani's going to go for the shoulder, and then I'm going to go for her shoulder. She's going to dumper. So it's just shoulder to shoulder. It's just to get people using this part of the hand. There. Now she's going to turn that one just there. So that's different than here and here. You see that? Here and here. Dumper is here and here. Again, here and here. So this dumper training, just across. If I wanted to go down, I'd move down, see, with motion. And if I wanted to move up, I'd move. See there? So the whole idea of that dumper is if she punched and I wanted to get rid of the arm, you wouldn't necessarily go to a jab. If there was a jab, I'll just take it there. Or if there was a punch, I'll just take it there. But what I'm saying is the dumper is used with, so you see the male and female. You see that? So if I did it here, the dumper comes up. You see that? If I did it here, the dumper comes up and gives me an angle. Or if I wanted to use the dumper here, I'd slap it down. It's just to create an angle. Or if I wanted to move, I could use the dumper to move it upwards or move it to the side. A dumper is a strike. You can also apply it to the groin. So, bang. Okay? But you can also use the dumper slap. So it'd be bang, slap. Okay? So if I was using bang, slap, that's how you would use the dumper. It's important that you learn how to use the anatomy, okay? So dumper drills you can do on the floor, you can do up, you can combine them. All right? So there's enough for you just to understand the basic principles. Structure is the most important though, okay? So here's my Sembah to you guys.